Alright, guys. Recording this on my phone. Um, Sorry, I'm not all there. I'm not feeling very well, but you guys deserve an update. Everybody deserves an update with what's going on with me. Um, so a couple weeks ago, I first off, some of you guys know, some of you guys may not know. Over this last summer, I had a lot of problems with my left foot. Um, I was in a boot, and I was in a cast, and I was in a boot again. I'm still in the boot, in a wheelchair because of it. Which is actually good that I got the wheelchair, and that'll become clear later. Um, my podiatrist, sorry, my podiatrist is pushing me, or not pushing me, but wanted to send me to a pain clinic. I've had a lot of issues trying to get into a pain clinic. But a few weeks ago, I was at church, literally just sitting in my wheelchair at church watching our Pastor Todd talk about friendship, and they're doing a whole series on what it really means to be a friend. And my chest just started burning. And this is not, as far as I know, stomach acid reflux. No, it started burning. I was getting lightheaded. My mom basically took me straight to the ER. They strapped all electric nodes all over me, took a bunch of blood work, and everything all turned out fine. Everything was showing up perfect. I ended up in the hospital for 3, maybe 4 days, I don't remember, doing test after test after test on my heart, my lungs, my circulatory system. No blood clots, nothing in my lungs. My heart is beyond healthy. I don't have diabetes, not even pre-diabetic. Those numbers they're a little on the higher side, but they're not even two pre-diabetic numbers yet. We finally had a patient advocate. First off, I want to give a big shout out to in fact, the hospital itself, to Loveless West Side on Golf Course in Albuquerque. If you live in Albuquerque, their ER was phenomenal. Their doctors listened. The nurses treated me with kindness and respect. They didn't label me as just a fat man or a pill pusher, or not pill pusher, but pill seeker. They actually ran tests on me. They didn't just kick me out the door. And part of that may be because I had Medicaid. I don't know. I'm on Medicaid right now. I lost my job due to these health issues. Anyway, get back to it. When I couldn't find anything in the ER, of course they admitted me. I was in there doing tests for a few days. But the patient advocate comes into play after we hit the medical floor. They admitted me to ICU initially because they still thought it was my heart. Um, and the cardiologist, I don't even remember his name, but he was phenomenal. The nurses in the ICU were amazing. Um, and then when they got the results back and it wasn't my heart, they moved me to the medical wing. Instead of seeing a cardiologist, I was talking to what I guess, a hospitalist. I don't know what a hospitalist is, but anyway, the nurses on the medical wing were just as phenomenal, just as caring as the nurses over in the ICU, but the doctor, the hospitalist, was beyond awful. He took one look at me, saw a fat guy with negative test results for everything, and said, "We're just going to send you home. Never mind that we can't find out why you're still hurting, why the pain medication isn't helping." They had me on morphine. Morphine didn't even touch the pain, didn't bring it down at all. They switched to Dilaudid because I started getting a rash, which they weren't sure if it was from the morphine or not. But I switched to Dilaudid, and that knocked it down from an 8 or a 9 to a 7 or an 8. I was still in pain on Dilaudid. I should have been flying high, but I wasn't. And I was getting this Dilaudid like every 2.5, 3 hours. Like, they were right on it. And it wasn't controlling the pain. But the doctor was sending me home with no answers, was going to. So we got the patient advocate involved, and her name was December. I don't remember her last name, but whatever. And she suggested some gastric studies. Now, mind you, I've been in the ER now, or in the hospital now, for 2 or 3 days, and for the last 36 hours, I'd been on nothing but a liquid diet. Not even Jell-O, straight liquid diet. So they decided to do, I guess, what's called an EGD, where they take a camera and shove it all the way down my throat into my stomach and see what's going on. Now, again, I hadn't had any solid food for 36 hours. And the gastrologist or gastroenterologist or the gastro doc said there was still quite a bit of solid food in my stomach. So I now have a diagnosis of gastroparesis. A severe diagnosis of gastroparesis. I've basically had to change my diet. I'm eating less now than my 7-year-old son eats. Very small portions. I have to be on a low fat, low fiber, not high fiber, low fiber, because my stomach doesn't process it. With the gastroparesis, it's a paralysis of the stomach. The nerves in my stomach are not sending the right messages to move the food down to the small intestine. And then when it finally does move it to the small intestine, it shoots through my system. Now, on top of all of this, the beginning of the summer, in late June, early July, I had gone into one of the doctor's offices or ERs that I went to for my foot, and I got weighed, and I was about 425 pounds. I'm a big guy. I can't hide it. When I first got admitted to the ICU, they put me on this beautiful, amazing bed with like air bubbles and pockets that was just a dream to sleep on. If I could sleep, which I didn't sleep very well. But it also weighed me. They zeroed it out, and it's got a scale in it, and it weighed me. And I had dropped down to 382.6 pounds. That's 43 pounds, about, that I had lost in 2 months without exercise, without diet change, without even cutting sodas out. I was drinking more sodas, but diet sodas, but whatever. I was probably eating worse than I had ever eaten. And I lost about 43 pounds, which is another indicator of the gastroparesis. I'm not getting the nutrition that I should be getting. And part of the reason I'm on this diet now, very small portions, 6 times a day, very small portions, like not even a chicken breast, like a third of a chicken breast if I eat chicken breast. A lot of it's liquid. Protein shakes or smoothies in the morning. Um, eggs, 2 eggs, sometimes with a little cheese. I gotta cut out spices that I love right now, because with this I'm on the verge of vomiting all the time. I'm nauseous all the time right now. But anyway, let's keep moving on down the story here. So I went in just a few days ago, like last Thursday, and saw the gastro doc that did the put the camera down my throat, did the procedure. And he wants me to do what's called a gastric sleeve. It's not a gastric bypass. It's a gastric sleeve, where literally they cut out 80 to 90% of my stomach and turn it into almost a straight shot to my small intestines. And I've been doing a lot of YouTube research and into just exactly what this is. Now, most people, when they get this, is for weight loss. Which, hey, weight loss is good. But it cuts my stomach down to 3, maybe 4 ounces, is all my stomach will hold at that time. A couple of bites. And it scares the shit out of me. Excuse my language to my family members, but it scares the hell out of me. I know that it can be done laparoscopically, and it probably will be. But it's still a very invasive procedure. And they're still removing, 80 to 90% of a vital organ. I know I need it. I don't have a lot of options at this point. You know, I'm so weak right now. That's earlier when I was saying it was a good thing I had the wheelchair. Even if my foot gets better, I'm so weak right now that I'm in danger of getting lightheaded and falling all the time. So the wheelchair's a good thing. I went into a coughing, dry heaving fit last night for no reason. I don't even know why it came on or why it started. And it lasted for 30 minutes. Like 20, 30 minutes. I came this close to having my mom take me back to the ER. But I'm scared. And I know that God's watching over me and God's with me. But nobody knows his plans. If it's my time, it's my time. And I hate that I'm 35 and I have to say that. Yes, I'm still vaping. The biggest reason that I've kept vaping right now is the nicotine is an appetite suppressant. Because I'm eating such small portions, I feel hungry all the time. On top of it, at the same time, I feel hungry, but I also feel like I'm going to vomit at the same time. I vomited a few times, not many, but a few. Last night I was scared a lot when that coughing, dry heaving fit came on. But this is why I haven't been streaming, guys. This is why I haven't. Been very active online or with tomfoolery. Um, Now, hopefully, we. I'm going in for a gastric emptying study sometime soon. The doctor wants it before his next visit. The next visit's in like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and they haven't called me back on it yet. Um, I keep forgetting that the weekends, like doctors' offices now, where we have to wait for them to schedule this next test. We can't just call and have it scheduled. We have to wait for their office to schedule it. Um, just pray for me. Keep me in your thoughts. My family. My mom and my wife have. I wouldn't be. They have done so much for me. You know, help planning meals around my stomach. You know, sorry, I popped my fingers a little bit. Grabbing me things when I can't get them. Basically, trying to keep me healthy. I'm so beyond grateful for everything they've done. I've pretty much decided I'm going to get the surgery. I'm going to have it done. But it scares me a lot. I don't want I don't want to die on that table. And yeah, I know it's not, a dangerous surgery like some of the others, but it's still invasive surgery. Things can still go wrong. And my son could grow up without a father. My wife could become a widow at 33. My mom could end up burying one of her children, and that is. I'm going to try and stream this weekend. I'm going to try. I can't guarantee that I will. Um, but I do want to thank all of you, my friends, my family, everyone who's been there for me. And I'll do my best to keep everybody updated. Alright, guys. Peace. Love.